but I'm going to continue the broadcast right here, and please bear with me on that. Now, I was talking about the issue of I don't know if I okay, yes, okay, we're on, we're live. So sorry for that disconnection. I think it was an error from my side. I actually displayed a document over the screen, so it actually cut me off. I didn't know. I was talking to myself for over 1 hour plus, not knowing that I was actually talking to myself. Now we're back. Now I'm going to show you evidences here. Now I want to go on the Twitter handle of Simon to prove my point here. What I've come to do is to reveal lies. There's nothing like us being truthful and deciding that we must reveal lies. If you don't destroy lies, lies will destroy you. That is as simple as that. If you don't face it, lies will destroy you. So you must understand that the place of lies is a place of destruction. Now, let's go to the Twitter handle of Simon here. Let's go to, let me go to the beginning. Let me go to where we have the document. Now, let me take it to the beginning. Now, on the 15th of February, this is where I was analyzing. I was talking about the Oduduwa meeting, where he was, he was apologizing to the people and the media team and telling them about, for coming to a meeting that is supposed to be organized, a meeting that is supposed to be well organized, and you're supposed to have your media team informed. Simon is operating on his own. This which means, and I told you, I said that one of the things he said one time when we were actually having these things is that he said to himself, he said to the people, he said that the Elohim or God tells him, the Spirit tells him, not Elohim, he said the Spirit tells him what to say, and once the Spirit tells him what to say, he goes on to say it. The same way also when Nelly said that the Spirit tells her what to do and she does. He was the one who shouted on Nelly. He was the one who talked against Nelly. So how can you tell us that the Spirit, every time the Spirit tells you, how can the Spirit will be telling you alone? Are we not part of the people Spirit is supposed to be talking to? Or is it that the Spirit speaks to you more than us? But today, Simon is telling you that when the Spirit tells him something, he comes to tell others. So he doesn't need to tell us when he is actually having, any issue that have to do with Biafra. He takes his decision alone and he operates alone. So that's what he's trying to say. So now let's go to the next item there. Now I want us to look at this very critically. I want us to look at the tweets of Simon. Now we're going to look at the tweet from, you can see it on your screen there, on the 15th of February. Now Simon said, you will talk Biafra by force. He was referring to the media, in the international media, telling them about Biafra, and he's saying that they are going to talk Biafra. He said, we told you people that when the time comes, you will be forced to report about Biafra freedom. Whether you like it or not, you don't have a choice. The Biafra exit become a reality. After this month, someone is giving us an assurance that after this month, Biafra freedom will be a reality. He's saying that after this month, Biafra freedom will be a reality. That means you will see it after this month. Now, this was on the 15th of February when he said this. Now look at the next tweet. The next tweet. He said, I call on all Biafrans to be ready for the last battle for freedom. Now remember, I played a video where he told us and was telling the international community that if you are coming, someone said I should go and hide. Oh my God, people are funny. Now he said, if you are coming for observe the election, just know that you are coming to observe war. That's what he said. Now, let's go by sincerity, truthfulness, and let's be just. Let's be truth, as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. Is it not? Are we saying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was pretending when he was talking about truth, justice, and all of that? Unless you want to tell me that whatever Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said meant nothing to you, and what you want is that you are looking for who to worship and who to idolize, and that does not concern you, no matter what is said by anyone. Now he said, I call on all Biafrans to be ready for the last battle for freedom. We will weed out every presence of Nigeria in Biafra territory starting from 23rd of February 2023. We will weed out. Do you know what it means to weed out? Those who are into farming know what it means to weed. That means you are going to take away from, you are going to cut off from, you are going to destroy it, you are going to get them, you are going to take them off from destroying the main thing. That means you are going to take them off. So he said we're going to weed out the presence of Nigeria. Now I link it to that video I played the other time. Let me play, maybe I should play the video so that you can now testify from that video what he said. He said, if you're coming to observe election, just know that you're coming to observe war. And that's what he said there. So let me play that video that he said that as an evidence to this particular tweet. You know, this particular tweet here. The devil is a liar. Wanted to stop me. I was just talking to myself. Never knew that I had already gone off the. Okay, let me play the video. Watch.
If you are coming in Biafra territory in the old Eastern region for election observer, you are not going to observe election. You are going to observe war between Biafra and Nigeria. You are going to observe a resistance force between Biafra and Nigeria. And this is official today.
Now he said, you are going to observe resistance. That means the Biafra army, the Biafra territory will be secured, as he said, on land, sea, air, wherever. Biafra territory will be secured. That means the men on ground are the ones who are supposed to do it. The men were not fed. The men are not given tools. I wonder how he did it. Now remember, Simon was always coming to boast to us that let them come, our men on ground. He will come to tell you 30-0, 30 days, Nigeria 0, Biafra 30, and all of that. Our men were being killed. Our men were being killed. I say it again, our men were being killed. They were not armed. They were not fed. In fact, at a point, they were begging for Gary to drink. A particular commander, I can play the audio if you want it. He was asking, even if it is Gary, I think, madam, if you played it the other time, even if it is Gary, let's drink. Now, it has gotten so bad that the ESN that was constituted by Mazin Namdekanu, Simon and Azuka were funding a group that were loyal to them, and they refused to fund the others because those ones. Now, you remember I told you that ESN has a command. It is not supposed to be under IPOB and the control of IPOB. It is a command. All we need to do is provide them resources, and then they go do what they have to do. But now they destroyed the structure. Simon, DOS tried to destroy the structure, and then Simon came in the guise that he's going to preserve the structure, and further destroyed the structure, and now made ESN beggars. Now, this Azuka will come and give. I told you the other time, and of course we have been saying it, Butuzo killed Double Lion and so many commanders and so many ESN people. Butuzo was the one who killed them. Simon now and Azuka made Butuzo the head of the group, the militia they have created out of ESN that they are now using as mercenaries to go and fight the other people. Now, this Butuzo, you heard it in that voice message where Azuka was saying that Butuzo is the head of the command. How can somebody, it's just like Buhari now bringing repentant Boko Haram into the military, bringing repentant Boko Haram, so-called repentant Boko Haram into the military. What have we been calling that? Those are terrorists. So if somebody have been killing the men Mazin Namdekanu constituted, and now Simon came online several times, about 2 or 3 times, to talk about this same Butuzo and tell us that Butuzo have been killing our men, gave analysis of that, and proved to us that Butuzo is an enemy to Biafra people. And yet Simon and Azuka still took this Butuzo and made him the commander of the people. What does that tell you? Those who have reason, who have brains, can you reason now? What does that tell you? That tells you that something is very, very wrong somewhere. That tells you that something is very, very wrong somewhere. That's what it tells you. So if something is very, very wrong, then you must do something about what is wrong. That is what is done everywhere in the world. When something goes wrong, you must do something. When things go wrong, you must take action, because you are supposed to institute things that go wrong to be right. And that is why the mandate Mazin Namdekanu was preaching to us, because he was putting into us the spirit of Biafra, so that we would correct and know our stance and know what is truth. When we see lies coming, we now will correct it and take a stand against lies. Now, in that video I played, he was saying that if you are coming to observe election, what you are coming to observe is war. That's what he said in that video. Now, in this tweet now, he said also on the 16th of February, he said, I call on all Biafrans to be ready for the last battle for freedom. That means during this period of election, this is going to be the time we're going to battle it out. He now said, we will weed out, we will take off, we will remove everything, we will remove every presence of Nigeria. We will weed out. Some of you know what it means to weed out. Those of you who have been, done farm work before, or somehow in where you live, you see some grass, you weed them and all of that. You know what you do? You try to remove them very well. You want to remove them because you don't want them to grow fast again. You take thorough action against them. He said, we are going to weed out every presence of Nigeria in Biafra territory. Every presence, critically the word every, which means that every action will be taken to make sure that even the election will not hold, because every presence, the election is a presence of Nigeria in Biafra territory. He said, we are going to weed out that election and that presence of Nigeria in Biafra territory, starting from the 23rd of February. That means as we end that lockdown, everything will be weeded out. But here we are today, and everybody is telling themselves lies. Some people, anyways, not everybody, because we know those who are on social media talking rubbish. We know reasonable Biafrans are sitting back watching. They are watching. People who are reasonable are watching. They are not fools. Biafrans are not fools. We are smart. You don't come and show. We don't move with you by emotion. Once you give us a sign, we'll read you. We'll study you. We're not fools. So leave all these people who are making noise on social media. They are just their e-frogs, including the media team. Those ones they are just looking for viewership. They want their viewership to continue. That's not my business. If you like, let me have only one subscriber on this channel. I'll keep still preaching the gospel. That's me for you, because the truth matters. Everybody is more important than one. Even if one is important. But when one goes against it, they will be replaced. Look at when Judas Iscariot went against the 12, he was replaced by Matthias. There must be a replacement at a point in time, no matter how important someone is. Once they miss it, they have missed it. Once they lie to you, they have lied to you. Once they come against you, they have come against you. Sorry for that grammatical error I wanted to make. Once they come against you, they have come against you. You must take action, because the truth must be preserved. The most important thing is the truth, not anybody. No matter whose ass is God, whether my ass is God or whoever's ass is God, or whoever it is. Even Mazin Amikanu said, even if my ass is God, kick me off. Doesn't matter if my ass is God. Biafra is more important than me. That's what Mazin Namdekanu said. Mazi, if you are a true believer of Mazin Namdekanu, you will never allow this impunity. You will never sit and watch evil like this happening. You will never sit and watch this evil happening. Because he said in this video that those who are coming to observe election, those international election observers, they are coming to witness war. They are not coming to observe election. They are coming to observe war. And here on this tweet, he says that Biafrans should be ready for the last battle for freedom. Because from the 23rd, that battle will begin, and we're going to weed out every presence. That's what he said. So let's go to the next tweet on that 16th of February. Let's read it together. You can see it on the screen. You can check it later. These are all tweets. Biafrans, are you seeing your freedom coming soon? Because he said it. So he believes that because he said it, you should see it. That means once he says it, that means you should be seeing it. That means you shouldn't watch out for what is happening around you. All you need to do is to look at to listen to what he's saying, or to read. And when you read what he's saying, then what he's saying now tells you that you can see. So that means when he stirs your emotion with what he says, what he says now becomes the template for you to know that you are seeing the freedom. We told you that from this February, you will start seeing the green light of your freedom from Nigeria. Before this weekend, my interview will be out and the evil zoo will tremble. This was on the 16th of February 2022. He's telling you that you are supposed to have been seeing the green light. What does it mean to see the green light? It means that now it is go. When you see the traffic light, the green comes. Movement starts. That means you are seeing it. Now, but I have not seen anything. He says you are seeing. I have not seen, but he says you are seeing. Now, so before the weekend, the interview, the important thing is the interview, because the interview is the green light you should see. That's what he's trying to tell you. Now look at it again on the 16th, on the 17th, the next day of February. I'm going to read on the 17th now. On the 17th of February, please pardon me. Let me go back so that I can read that. Okay. On the 17th of February, now let's look at it together now. On the 17th of February, he said, now, I said from 15th of February, you will enter Nigeria street and make the job easier for the Biafra people. Save the date I made that tweet. Now, that is where I gave you the analysis of the calculation and of the program of deceits. That means the chess, the gambling. That means once Tinubu is announced, Biafra people, the Obi people will revolt. Or article is announced, the Obi people will revolt. So there is going to be a revolt somehow and anyhow. And so what it means is that, however it is, the people will march out, which means that he is depending on the people to march out for this issue of freedom to be achieved. Because when the people march out, definitely Nigerian military will kill them. And when Nigerian military will kill them, the thing will escalate and people will get so pissed and angry. Now remember, there was a particular Twitter space that the OB people were discussing with him there in that tweet. You know, they were talking about how they are going to arm themselves, how they have gotten arms, they have arms, they're going to make sure they defend the election, they're going to make sure they defend the result, they're going to make sure they make sure that the election is not rigged, that if it comes to worse, they are going to fight. They said it on that tweet. He too mentioned it. Some other of our people took it on Twitter and were making jest of them. But Simon was calculating on that. That was why he made this tweet. That is one of the strategies here. That is why he made sure that the election, the countdown, 150 days, that he gave us all assignments, adults, old men, and women, and foolish. We were counting 150 days. Grown-up men, grown-up. Let me not qualify us as idiots because to me that's an idiotic thing we all did. For 150 days, we were counting 150. And he gave it a space of 8 days after the end of the election. He made sure that the 150 goes 8 days after the election, because the calculation is that within that 8 days, the election would have been, the announcement would have been done, and then Peter Obi's people will now come out with that arm and ammunition and begin to fight, as they have said. And then when they begin to fight, Nigerian military will come also, and then there'll be riots everywhere, and everywhere will go chaos, because the Oduduwa people, the Arewa people, the Hausas and the Fulanis will also start fighting our people there, and there will be fights everywhere. And before you know it, everybody's talking about going to their places. And then that is when Nigeria will implode, and then he'll not take glory for it, that he's the one who, I said it. I know the day Nigeria will come. That is where the plan is towards the election. Don't you notice that after that, all he does now is that we're going to Nigeria, Biafra will come this year. Biafra will come this year. He's now holding this year. It's no more. I know the day. This tweet on the 17th, I said from the 15th of February, you will enter Biafra street and make the job easier for us. He was expecting that the chaos will bring about what he intends to achieve. So it was the chaos he was looking up to that Obi people, the people who are working with Obi, will bring. It is that chaos that he's looking up to see that you now say, mark the date, that it is your chaos that will help me to achieve this. Now let's go to the next tweet. He says that this tweet was made on the 19th of February. He said, if you are an international media reporting anything about Nigeria from what will start to happen from next week, he has given us impression that from next week, things will start to happen. Things will start to happen. Lord have mercy. How can we all be put in this kind of expectation? And all these expectations never came to pass, and we all kept quiet, and we are still jubilating, anticipating that something will still happen when there's nothing on ground, when it is obvious that nothing on ground. He said, what will start to happen from next week without interviewing me to hear the side of Biafra people, your reportage is fake and dead on arrival. I want you all to know that I'm the personality you cannot move. Look at the tweet. Everything is about me. He's talking about him. Everything is about himself. They want to come for Simon Ekpa. They want to do this Ekpa. It's about something is wrong. You guys should know. And when we are preaching these things, it's like people are saying, hey, it's like it's personal. No, we must tell you the truth so that you know where to stand. Now look at this tweet. The tweet is about putting your expectation on something that will happen terribly on that day. That was the impression. Something must happen. Now let's go further. Let's go to the next tweet. Let's go to the next tweet so that the tweet, I'm bringing evidences from him, just like he brings evidences about people. If he has evidence about me betraying or stealing, or since he's calling me a criminal, let him bring the evidences and show to Biafrans what I stole from him and stole from Biafra. I'm bringing evidences against him from what he said. If you go to my tweets and everything, my tweets are consistent, and I always share everything he says and love them. And that was what I was doing because I want his success. But now I've come to see that he doesn't carry the spirit of Biafra anymore. I've come to see that he has been lying, he has been deceiving. We were thinking that all these lies and deceit are the climax on the time of election. Everything, that is when he's planning towards and to get results, only for us to discover that there was nothing on ground. We have seen it. We have talked with the men on ground. We are still conversing with the men on ground. Nothing on ground to have done anything. Just waiting for obese people to go into chaos. That was why he gave 8 days after the election to continue that 150 days countdown. The assignment he gave all of us he looked at us and said, look at this moron. Let me give all of them assignment. And we started counting 1, 2, 3 until 150. For 4 months, we were counting 150. And after the end, what we heard was that and from now, we're going to start engaging the military. This is what he has said over and over and over. We will cap now that Izombe, that killing of Izombe. He said it that they will start engaging them. They will stop election. He said that on the 8th of November, 2022. Until today, they are still taking oil. And now he's telling us now that they will start engaging. After counting 150 days, he tells us about liaison office. Now, yesterday or today, he says now they have moved the date, the deadline for the liaison offices. Oh Lord have mercy. You see, one problem about people who are not intelligent is that they always, let me tell you one of the weakness of somebody who is not intelligent. They always think, that anybody they are talking to has a level of understanding below what they have. And because they are not intelligent, they tend to assume that you would always reason along the line of what they tell you based on the fact that you think based on the fact that they think that you have come to embrace them and love them so much and giving them all your attention. So they always think that everybody reasons lower than them. That's what unintelligent people do. Unintelligent people, those who are not intelligent. Well, is there any word like unintelligent? No, not intelligent, not unintelligent. Those who are not intelligent, that's what they do. They always think, and so they, on their level of reasoning, they reason out foolish things, and they think that what they reason is so smart that even those people that they are talking to cannot, relate with it. And then when they see people who have a level of higher intelligence than them, they feel threatened. That is why everybody who have worked with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, those who are true, who contacted Simon, he never wanted to talk to them. He never wanted to get them across, get them on board and get them. He wants to say what he wants to say and everybody run around what he says. That's what he wants. You can see it displayed recently. You can see displayed. You can see mature people like Prince, like Pastor Livingstone, like others, around. People who have what to offer. If I tell you what we have on ground now, what we have strategy, you will know that these are professionals. If he's a professional as he professes, is he not supposed to put something on ground that people will see? Yes. People will have confidence in. How can a whole nation be putting money in one woman's account? What is wrong? Is it that we don't have sense? A whole nation. Now look at the tweet. We have just started where your gossip stopped. This was on the 22nd of February 2022. Until you sleep in Nigeria and wake up in Biafra. That means during the election, that the target is that on that day of the election, they will stop the election. It will not hold. It is no election. It is not election boycott. It is no election. I remember somebody was telling me the other time after the election, said, but is it not no election we talked about? What is wrong? And I just gave him some reasons, But I knew within me that what we said is no election, not election boycott. That's what we said. So he said now that You will wake up. That means on that day of the election, they will stop it and they will defend the borders. This will happen like a movie, as Biafra people are determined. 2 days to the election, 3 days to the election, he said this. Biafra people are determined. And who would show that Biafra people are determined? The men on ground are the ones who are going to show that Biafra people are determined by them stopping the election. Because he knows very well that there are people who are saying that they must come out for election. So the only way to make sure that there is no election is to enforce it. He knows very well. So why didn't he enforce it? The men on ground don't have what it takes to enforce it. As simple as that. So he is depending on Obi and his team to enforce it for him by carrying out action and attack after Obi loses. Now look at the next tweet. Breaking. Following the threats from Nigeria, repentant Boko Haram and Nigeria Taliban serving in various capacities in the security agencies in Nigeria, the Biafra government in exile and security committee have had a security meeting. Now, let me tell you about this Biafra government in exile. If you observe very well, you will discover that nobody has been presented since as the Biafra government in exile. We keep hearing Biafra government in exile. They are going to come out to speak to Biafrans. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. Until now, nobody have done it. You know why? The Biafra government in exile, the people he is now taking as the Biafra government in exile, are those people on that advisory board, that so-called advisory board, who cannot advise well. Ruby Nadi, Iman Madwabum, Ngozi Rabueze, the same Nigeria agent, Oge Chukwu, I've forgotten his surname, and then Victor Adim, and then basically, anyways, these are the people these are the basic people in that on that platform. Even if we had other people, but these are the basic people who are taking decisions, and all of that. And I was there too, And so now, when the Biafra government in exile he's talking about, and who the people he told you are going to open liaison offices are these same people. Now you are talking about liaison office. Are we that? Is it that we are not intelligent? You see, that's why I said people who are not intelligent, they reason at a level, because they believe that every other person has a level of reason that is below them. How can you come and tell professionals, Biafrans all over the nations of the world, professionals in their fields, prominent people, respected people, to come to tell them that you are going to open liaison offices everywhere? You are going to open liaison offices without a government, without recognition by the country that you want to open a liaison office in. You want to go to Britain to open liaison office. You want to go to US to open liaison office. How? Under a sovereign nation, you want to go and open liaison office. Do you know what liaison office mean? And our people are hailing it and sharing it. Oh my God, help us. Lord, help our people. Now let's go on this. Now he said here, let me go to the bigger picture. Now he said here, and they have gone into security meeting and have raised the defense of Biafra territory to considerable level from tomorrow. What is that tomorrow's date? That tomorrow's date is 23rd of February, the day the sit at home begins. 23rd of February, you can see it there. 23rd of February. That it has been raised, the level has been raised. That means the Biafra military will come all out and defend Biafra territory from the next day. From the next day, they will start defending Biafra territory. He said it here. We have raised the defense of Biafra territory to considerable level from tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, did you see anything from tomorrow? That's on the 23rd of February. Did you see anything? He said, Nigeria military has issued threats to Biafrans of bloody nose from tomorrow. We therefore call on the Biafrans, civilians, to stay off the streets from tomorrow, 6 a.m. tomorrow, as planned. The Biafra Liberation Army will be ready for yet another self and territorial defense. The Biafra Liberation Army will be ready for yet another self and territorial defense. Civilians must be very security conscious. Now, he's given us an impression that what is going to happen from that 23rd is that the Biafra Liberation Army will be out and will be on the streets. How many of you saw any Biafra Liberation Army on the streets? Zoo military was everywhere. They were everywhere in Biafra land. The plan is this. According to him, the Biafra people were supposed to sit at home, stay away from the streets, because the streets will be open for the Biafra Liberation Army and the military. The military stayed until the lockdown ended, until election went through and all of that. We didn't see any Biafra Liberation Army out. This tweet was on the 22nd of February, 2023, a day before the election. Now let's go to the next tweet. On the 23rd, the next day, the 23rd, the day the lockdown began, he says, Biafra exits the first day of the historic no election, sit at home, activated in Biafra. Biafrans will shock the world this weekend, airborne freedom. 23rd of February, that means that weekend, as he has said in previous videos, the Biafra Liberation Army will come and begin to engage from that day, begin to engage the military, because the plan is to stop the election, no election, and make sure that people go all out and receive their freedom. That means they are going to sleep in Nigeria and wake up on the 1st of that Saturday, 25th, and discover that Biafra has taken over his territory, and then suddenly we are free. And then suddenly people are in Biafra. That's the plan. And that was why he was telling you that I know the day Biafra will come. That means the plan was this, that on that day, there will be no election, nobody will come to vote, but he didn't have what to enforce it. People voted, and voting took place. Now let's go to the next point. Now, this was made on the 23rd, the day that lockdown began. He said, this is it. He now tagged UN, tagged State Department, and tagged them down in streets. He said, we, the Biafra people, will fight to finish this time. That means, according to the words here, there will be no election, and it is a fight to finish. He was tagging somebody's tweet, the one Tosco 4 something, and he was telling Biafra people that this time we are going to fight to finish. That means as that lockdown have begun, that 23rd, that day it began, it is the beginning of the fight, and the fight will be to the end. Now that happened on that day. On that same day, on that 23rd, he now posted, Biafra, Simon Ekpa is here to finish what he started. Simon Ekpa is here to finish what he started. That means it is a program for Simon Ekpa alone in the first place. It is Simon Ekpa's program. It is not Biafra program. So he's telling Biafra, he's now telling us, Simon Ekpa is here to finish what he started. What did he start? What he started was that he told you so many things about what will happen. The plans he has that does not involve anybody, because he doesn't carry us along. We are not part of it. So he tells us everything that he plans. Now he's telling us, now he's come to start and finish what he started, because he is the one who started it. We didn't start with him. We were only promoting him and pushing him and giving the information to the people. So we were just there promoting him, whereas he was doing his own program. Now remember, he gave an interview with one media personnel, and it was when they were asking him about who is funding him and his organization. He said, Biafra people are funding my organization, because his organization and him are the same. So he didn't need to say Biafra people are funding me and my organization. And because if he going to talk about himself, Biafra people are funding me, then they are going to ask him, but you said you're a lawyer and all of that. You don't have a law firm and all of that. So he will not go into that controversial side where he knows that he has lied to Biafrans, that he's a lawyer, and he cannot defend it this time around. So he needed to talk about only the organization, because in his mind, the organization is him. So in this tweet now, he says he has come to finish what he started. And in that broadcast, in that interview, he said that the Biafrans are funding his organization. How? The fundraising is by Biafrans. And they give it to Azuka, who puts it in her husband's account. Azuka also have an account in Nigeria that one Chichi is the one controlling for her, doing funds, transactions for her. But that account belongs to Azuka. That Chichi is the one. You know, you remember that the story where somebody they came out and they said that because Azuka gave Chichi 2 million, that is why if he is angry. That's why she's reacting. So I tell you, this is her organization. She gave Chichi 2 million for business as a loan. Nobody knows the term of the loan. Nobody knows the term of payment. Nobody knows who authorized it. Of course, Simon have said that he is the one Azuka reports to, which means that Simon authorized the giving of Chichi 2 million. That's what it means. Now, so you can understand this now. That's Chichi of the so-called Umada, the people that they were telling me that Azuka have done so much, her face have to be in the currency because she has constituted 3 people as Umuada who should be on the table of Umuada. So 3 people there is the achievement that Azuka has done, that her face must be on the currency. Now remember, when Azuka came to us and we talked about this issue, she said she was going to go hold meeting with Simon. She called Victor and was asking Victor, why were you resisting my face from being on the currency? Kelechi said you were resisting my face, resisting that my face will not be on the currency. So Victor said, I don't know about that. Call Kelechi and let's ask him. Instead of her to call me, she called Pastor Livingstone. Pastor Livingstone said, no, it is not, this is not the narrative. So now in the presence of Victor, in that same phone call, she called another commander. Victor was there on that phone. She was asking the commander, have you gotten the location of Mirugo? Because then Mirugo was posting things about her, how they are mismanaging the funds and all of that. She was asking that so-called commander, whom I've forgotten the name or whatever she called it, if they have gotten the location of Mirugo. And the person said to her, yes. She said, that's good. That's good. Victor was listening to the conversation in that same call. That tells you that they have built their militia to go after people who are saying the truth. Suddenly, Mirugo removed all the tweets that period. But thank God now that he has summoned courage to do the right thing now. He's talking. He's speaking now. That's courage. Because that's what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu taught us. Courage. 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 If you don't have courage, you're going to compromise. That's why God told Joshua in Joshua chapter 1 verse 8, be strong and of good courage. Be strong. This thing is not for weak people. It's not for people who are going to compromise. It's for people who are truthful. It's only truthful people that are courageous. Be strong and of good courage. Then he told them, be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. That means your strength and your courage is in the Lord. So that is why I'm doing what I'm doing now, because nobody can get at me. Nobody can do me anything. No mortal can kill me, because the Lord is with me. What I'm doing is of the Lord. Truth is of the Lord. As simple as that. Lies is of the devil. That's why he's called the father of liars. And what is lie? Anything that does not exist is a lie. And do you see all the things we are saying now? Do they exist? Nobody defended Biafra. Nobody came to stop the election. Those are lies. That means they don't exist. Lie simply means that this does not exist. Lie simply means anything that does not exist. So if the devil is a father of liars, it simply means that anything that is a lie does not exist. That's what it means. So now you can see it. She called asking for Mirugo's location. Till today, they are using other people like Holy Ghost and all of it. You heard when Simon threatened, I played it the other time, threatened a commander. Now she gave Holy Ghost and Butuso the right to be, including one success, threatening our people, Gaddafi too, looking for how they're going to get people, looking for how they're going to kill our people. And nobody sees anything wrong with that. Now, on that same 23rd, Simon made a broadcast. I'm seeing your tweets. Those who are truthful, keep tweeting. Those who are telling themselves lies, keep tweeting. Do whatever you want to do. That's your business. I'm standing on the path of truth. Nothing will turn me from the path of truth. That's what I swore to do when I joined Biafra. That was why when I came on the 1st of January, I wanted to start on the right footing. I told everybody, and I made my covenant with Biafra people from this platform. That's why we call this platform Hallowed Platform. And I said to you that anything Nigeria, I'll never use it again in my life. And everywhere I've gone, I have never presented any document in Nigeria. I told them, even when they were asking for a school certificate, I told them I have not gone to school. They say, you do like this, you did not lie. I said, no, I don't. This is the reason. Anyways, I've already sworn to my people. And I showed them the video, 1st of January, on Biafra Global Network. I swore to the people that I renounce Nigeria. And that's it. And they said, wow, that's it. You must keep to your words. So I cannot come and swear to protect your interest and then now come to lie to you because I want to please somebody. I'm not a human worshiper. I don't worship image. That's the first law. I don't worship any. If you like, there's no amount you give to me. I will not. If I want to make money, I can make money in Nigeria. I told you people, I organized it before the lockdown. I was organizing the program. The president sent his representative, the zoo president, the so-called person who is masked. They sent a PA for a PA for youth and sports to come to the program to represent the president. And they said, my program is so unique. This is the first of its kind, that they will sponsor it. And they made a truce with me that day on the 14th of March, 2020. Go and check the records of Nikon Luxury Hotel, Abuja, organized by Gifted Youth Organization. That's my organization. And that day, before the next week lockdown began, that was what stopped us. And until after the lockdown, I was still called to come now, let's do this thing. But because I know that I'm part of this other issue of the NSARS and all of that, and I had to, just getting off for my life. I couldn't go, but I would have stayed there and just kept quiet and go and sign the deal. And every year my program will be going on. And those people, of course, I had people who came into the program. I have some Fulani people who are part of the program. Those ones who make the money be flowing from Nigeria. That's corruption. We'll just be eating the money. Because putting Fulani in your program, you know that the thing will go. They will sell. They were the ones who brought the president and all. They are the ones who brought more. They brought a whole lot of people. And we're going into a truce. That program, we opened a way to us. We accessed the Minister of States for Abuja, FCT, through the PA. And we were already going to complete the deal before lockdown, and we're supposed to wait after the lockdown. We'll now do that. We'll now complete the deal. And by now, I'm supposed to have done this year. I'll be doing the 3rd edition. You think I don't? You think if I want to, I'll just give up everything and I've gone to just go and do the corruption. But because I have given battle, it is the battle of God. It is the battle of God. And I cannot worship any man. I worship God. So I cannot come and tell myself lies because I want to please somebody. Who are you to please? Now, this particular tweet Simon made to Dati 2 days before the election, he said, this is the terrorist from Mauritania talking. Ha, ha, ha. He laughed. Come and do election yourself. Come to Anambra on Saturday. That alone raised the hype of the minds of people and say, wow, something will be happening on Saturday. Because Simon was giving everybody impression, just like he gave his Zombe people impression after he has laughed and mocked the dead by telling them there will be no oil exploration in Biafra land again. From that day, he now made that announcement on the 8th of November, 2023. He made that announcement that there will be Nigeria can never take oil again from Biafra land. That they will stop they'll make sure they crumble Nigeria. Stop. I played it here to you now. You saw it. You listened to it. If you didn't listen to it, go and listen to the part 1 of this now that just ended, that we just started this part 2. You will see that you get the video. He mocked the dead. He spat on the grave of those ones who have died by giving a promise he never kept. So today again, he's telling us by sending an impression to us that from the next day, the day of the election, from Saturday, which is 2 days before the election, that something is going to happen. So that he should dare himself come to Biafra land and see. He said, come to yourself to Anambra on Saturday. He was telling Dati. But Peter Obi came out on the day of election. What happened? He came out and he was saying that he didn't see anybody to vote in his own constituency because the people were afraid. Not because Simon stopped the election, but because they thought there was going to be an action from Simon's side so that the military and Simon would have, because it is Simon's organization. He has told us that it is his organization. So Simon's team would have engaged the military. And so they needed to stay indoors so that nothing happens to them. So nothing happened to them. That's why they stayed indoors. They were afraid. Not because there was any enforcement, because Simon had anything to how to enforce it. He didn't have the ability to enforce it. He didn't have the thing on ground to enforce it. His organization never had anything on ground because the men he armed cannot cover Biafra and they cannot even do anything. So those were just a group of people that him and Azuka have armed to be fighting ESN within. Power tussle, power control. using one success. And Gaddafi, who poke nose everywhere, he wants to be relevant. He wants to cash in to every opportunity for his own selfish end. That's what he was doing. Now look at what he said on the 24th, the day before the election. I am the good guy. Must you tell us? Are you the one to tell us you're a good guy? But look at it. Because we're all, it's a childish thing. All hail Biafra. Join me tomorrow as we celebrate the successful day 2 of our seat at home. I don't know how it was successful, because the only places they were showing us, they would just show us one street, one road, one place somewhere. Show, if you want to show something, just like yesterday they showed one vehicle, one van packed, and they say it's Biafra liberation stuff. One vehicle. You are, for God's, oh Lord have mercy, you are showing me one vehicle to convince me that you are now in control when Nigeria has fleets of vehicles. Fleets. You are showing me one vehicle and telling me that you are now having Biafra by showing me one vehicle, one van. Or just showing 1, 2, 3 of even 10 vans. You show us 10 vans. Does it mean that you're ready? Lord have mercy. Now look at it here. He said, I am the good guy, hailing himself. It's all about him. It's about self. It's not about the people, because every decision is by him. And Azuka, of course, anywhere he goes, he takes Azuka along. So he's, birds of the same feather flock together. So he tells you Azuka reports to him. Azuka does not report to you because it's not you. It's about his organization. He said it in that video that he played himself, indicting himself when he told that journalist that Biafra people fund his organization. How? Biafra people fund his organization by contributing every 2 weeks. Fundraising. They give him money. And they are funding his organization. 2, by boosting and praising him and telling him we are behind you, we are this. But Biafra people don't know that they are actually funding him. But he made it that day as a revelation, and the people could not see reading between the lines. Biafra people are funding me. He never told the journalist. He has a love. He